Lyndah Tello, it's terrific to be able to interview you. I really just got to meet you in person, what was it, about a month ago when you were helping a friend out.
Yes, that was quite a breakfast. I was very impressed with you, and that's why I'm here.
And vice versa as well. And in the conversation, I heard about the program, which I had heard of before, but got the connection to you of the great work you're doing to help network women and getting business and being a solopreneur and all of those. So that's why I wanted to bring you on to ask you a few questions related to relationship marketing. And we'll jump right in is, what is relationship marketing to you? And then we'll work towards you explaining how you help women in business accomplish success using it.
So you know what? My definition is pretty elementary. It's that when you have a relationship with somebody and then they have a need of something you offer, they reach out to you versus everyone else on the planet because of their relationship with you. So it's kind of, very simple. I hope you're not disappointed.
I'm not at all. But, no, this is the whatever's people's experience of it is the inquiry I started on it. And tell me a little bit more about how you help women in business and being self-employed network together.
So a big thing happened to me when I was self-employed, which is I tried to join business networking groups. Number one, they charged a fee. And the thinking was, you have to have skin in the game or else you won't be a real participant. But what I felt was an opposite experience. When I'd go, these people would just vomit on you. Buy my stuff, use my service. They didn't care about me. They didn't care about my business. It was very transactional, very salesy. So I felt like when I took the money out of the equation, now you don't have to regroup your investment. You're not second guessing your choices. So you're free to it didn't cost you anything. So you're free just to get to know a person, build a rapport with them. And then when you go out into the world and you hear other people saying, I need this, I need that, your mind clicks with the person that you know. So that sort of was the birthplace of the 1099 ladies. And what I usually say is, how does a single entrepreneur compete with a huge company? Because when you think of a huge company, they have a sales force. How many people work there? Is it more than one? So, how do you compete with a team? And one of the ways to do it is to have this referral marketing plan. So I meet with, 10 or 15 women pretty regularly. And instead of me only promoting myself, I've got 10 people promoting me as well. And then I reciprocate. So now we all become each other's sales force. We pass warm leads back and forth. And I dare say when I send an email to somebody and I say, you have to meet my friend, I highly recommend her, that carries a lot of weight to the person receiving that email. It's much better than you going out into the world by yourself saying, hi, I'm great, buy my service. That's not nearly as impressive as when somebody kind of vouches, than you trying to be the one-man show. So if you've been successful being a one-man show, you can expect your business to increase exponentially when you have 10 or 15 people recommending you out. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it sure does. And of course, 1099 is pretty clear why you chose that number as well. And you've got a meetup group that you've been running, and you have a website. And then did it build off of the meetup group where you said, hey, let's just get together and see how we can help each other?
So it started off with, believe it or not, me going out networking and saying, hey, I have this idea. I have this idea of a women's networking group. Everyone there is self-employed or wants to be, because sometimes people have, corporate America jobs, but they have what I call a side hustle. Mm-hmm. And they're trying to grow that so that they can emancipate themselves and truly be 100% self-employed. They're on a journey in that direction. Would you be interested in meeting in a group? No, there's no money involved. There's no mandatory anything. It's just people trying to genuinely grow their business and meet with other people who are authentic in the same agenda. Would you embrace something like that? And people are like, yeah, it wouldn't cost me anything. I could afford to be a part of 2 groups. I said, yeah, that's right. So from that, the first year, I'd say I had about 20 women that met with me twice a month. But then it occurred to me, you're not really successful until you replicate yourself. So out of those relationships, I pulled people aside and said, you know what, you need to build your own tribe. So now we have 10 chapters, meets all around the city. We meet every day of the week. morning, lunch, and night. Somebody somewhere is meeting, kind of a thing. And so now it's over 100 women every month reading regularly. And so it's really kind of taken on a life of its own. But what's nice is that it's this, people keep coming back because they're getting results. They're getting the leads. They're building that rapport. They're making those connections. So the whole idea of not charging and not having skin in the game would undermine. That's not been my experience. My experience has been very positive.
Excellent. So are they meeting once, each group meets once a week? Is that how it works?
So it's all over the place.
Okay.
My group meets twice a month, the second and fourth Thursdays. But there's a group that meets every Wednesday at lunch. There's a group that meets first and third Mondays in the evening at Briar Creek. Mm-hmm. So that's why we have the website. We have a calendar up there because it's kind of a lot to keep in your head. So what I generally say to people is go and look. See if the time and the location works for you. We're meeting and, we've lapped around the city. So usually somebody can find something close to their house or close to work where they can, where they're meeting clients or whatever. So they can fit us in somewhere.
Talk to me about some of the things you've learned from doing it, of what are some of the biggest challenges you've seen that maybe you didn't expect going into this and how you overcame them.
So I learned a ton about branding. Yeah, I learned a ton about branding. So a lot of times I would say to people, hey, when you go networking, this is not free therapy. Let's not talk about how your husband's cheating on you or your neighbor's barking dog kept you up all night. People that's not a meaningful business exchange. You have to be in there, not because girls like to chat. So I had to kind of steer myself and everyone else in a direction that was conducive to having a business conversation. And I said, instead of thinking about all the things you don't want to say, flip it. What are some stories about yourself that you like? Successful business experience, how you solve someone's problem. Tell stories about yourself, build your brand, have canned stories that are succinct, to the point, humorous, but drive the point home that you're hardworking, that you're sincere, that you're passionate. Tell those stories about yourself. And then check in places, take pictures with people, because people, that old birds of a feather flock together. Mm-hmm. So every time you have a picture, don't have a drink in your hand and looking 3 sheets to the wind. Look like you're a sharp business person. You're out there making valuable local connections. You're driving your business forward. That's people's impression of you. That's what you want to fulfill in their brain, because everyone's looking at you through their phones. What you're doing on LinkedIn, what you're doing on Facebook, when you do these lives, are you coherent? Do you babble on? All these attributes of branding were very important, I think, to helping people have successful networking experiences. And I learned that from making mistakes and suffering the consequences. But now I say to people, well, I didn't suffer in vain, because here I have this great information for you. Let me shore you up. Let me help you with this. And that, people tend to value my input, as I've learned at the School of Hard Knocks. I can give examples. Oh, I should have never said that. That was an epic fail. Or, hey, this really knocked it out of the park. That worked well. And I think because it's grounded in real experiences, when I'm pitching, when I'm explaining, people embrace it. So I'm happy about that.
So what is some of your advice to women in business getting into this that they want to start on the side, they might build something up? It sounds like you're really open to that. And there's some chapters where if you have a day job, you have one of these groups you can go to. So it really offers, to me, a nice entry level. So it's okay. You can start building it up until you're ready. What's some of the beginning examples or stories or information you provide or recommend to these women starting out with this?
The first thing I say is get somebody to get a couple of professional photos. All right. Get a business card. You need to look the part. People won't believe you if you don't have anything that looks professional. Mm-hmm. So you start there. I also do something called a digital brochure, very much like this Zoom interview, where I get somebody up there, I introduce them, they give me their elevator speech, I ask them why they picked that business, which is kind of like their hook, right? Mm-hmm. And I say, who are you trying to meet? And they describe their perfect customer and the perfect referral partner. I end with showing their business card. I keep it tight to 3 minutes. Because what I say to everybody is, you can't say the wrong thing to the right person. You have to trust in that. People are naturally attracted to what's familiar. I can be in a room full of people. I'll hear that New York accent. I'll walk right up to the person. Where in New York are you from? How long you been here? You know, like it's just falls right. We're naturally drawn to the familiar. So the whole idea is, instead of me trying to sell you, Martin, I'd grab this video and say to a person, you have to meet this guy. I drop the video link in a text or an email, and then you get to present your opportunity. You get to pitch yourself. And the thing is, when the person's watching the video, they hear you describing them. Oh, he's trying to meet me. It occurs to them because you're describing them. And your words and your body language resonate with them. You're familiar, and that is your warm lead. That's your ability to pitch yourself. So I think that's a really great tool that's worked well for a lot of people who can't get out and network as much, because they'll make this link, they give it to their friends or their referral partners, and then it just makes it easy for people to refer to them. So it sort of compensates for the fact that 40 hours a week, they're somewhere else. They can still be engaging. So, I have a lot of people who are accountants by day, and they own their own little bookkeeping business at night, or house cleaning businesses where they come and clean the offices at night. And, they're trying to build their own little business. And it's hard to have all these irons in the fire, because we're women. We're usually cleaning a house, cooking the meals, doing the laundry, 40 hours a week in another job. And then we have this dream of being self-employed. Like, it's hard to do everything. But together, with, the tools that we have, we can make this happen, and I'd love to be a part of someone's success. Like, everyone should have something that feeds their soul. I delight in this. It's completely clear, if you ever meet with me, how much I enjoy doing these things. And when you help other people, you help yourself. So I'm totally, on fire for helping other people, growing my own business, taking life by the balls, as they say.
Can you share any stories of success that you're really pleased with in this process? Yeah.
So when I first started the networking group, there was a girl there was a mortgage broker, and I was trying to refinance. I have my primary residence and some rental property. Whatever you need for an underwriter when you're an employee, you need like this much more paperwork when you're self-employed. They practically needed a receipt from Belk's for a dress I bought. It was like crazy. So she worked so hard on my loans. I crunched the numbers. She saved me over $60,000. So first of all, I could pay for meetup for the rest of my life and never touch break even. That's one relationship, and I have hundreds. And it's great to go places, and people hug me hello. I get out of my car, they're like, aren't you Lyndah Tello? I'm like, yeah. I don't recall where we met. Oh, no, I'm following you on Facebook. I like the things you have to say. I've seen your videos. It's really exciting to have that kind of positive impact on the world.
What do you wish you knew when you started that you know now? Anything specifically related to relationship marketing?
When people say no to you, not to take it personally. It's so hard. You're excited about what you're doing. You're emotionally invested in it. And so when somebody rejects your ideas of, doing business with you, it really feels like a punch in the belly, because it's hard not to take it personally. But, I realized this happens in every business everywhere. I myself have returned things back to stores because they didn't fit right, or they weren't a good match for what I was trying to do. And that's everybody's right, to pick or choose. It's not really that they're not picking me. It's just that what I have is not a good match for them. And took me a long time to come to terms with when somebody didn't want to work with me. I just had to say, okay, it's okay. They want to go a different direction, and that's their right, and let it go. Like in the Frozen song, let it go. So I think that was a real good learning experience for me.
Excellent. The other thing is I can see is how the group supports and disrupts some of the isolation they might have, because if they're working a day job and then doing the business, there may not be a lot of friends that understand that challenge, or maybe even their family doesn't understand it as much. And I would think your groups would offer that, disrupts that.
Yes, I often say we celebrate and commiserate. I mean, because, we all are walking a mile in each other's shoes. So there's an understanding there that's unparalleled. Your husband loves you. He's with you day in and day out, but he doesn't understand because he's not walking the same path as you are. So I really feel like there's a very special relationship that we get to share that maybe other people don't get, but we sure get it.
There are more and more women getting into entrepreneurship. I think some of the exciting statistics is a large number of African-American women as well getting into it. The numbers I heard seem to be climbing as well, and sounds like you're supporting it, which is excellent for young girls to see as a model and as an experience and maybe the possibility of their pathway too.
Yes. I think the world is moving in that direction especially with young girls, because they have such a command of social media, which is most people buy things online now. It's almost a rarity to go to a store or go to a mall. I don't ever hear anybody talking about doing either of those two things. But I can't tell you, a day doesn't go by when someone's looking up the price of something through Google. So the younger generation seems to have such a command of social media. So they're really primed if they find something they're excited about and want to, get on there and demonstrate or testify to something. That's a very powerful tool.
Fantastic. How can they learn more about your group and the association and everything? Where's the next step?
So first step, go to the website of www.1099ladiesnetworking.com. Look up at the schedule to see where one is meeting that's convenient for you. So please reach out to me. Let's get a cup of coffee or a beer, talk about your business, and I'll see who I can introduce you to help you grow it.
Fantastic. I'll put the link below as well so people can access it. And this was great. I appreciate what you're doing to empower women in business. We need everybody working and understanding what it takes to run your own business. I think it should be a requirement before anything else is have some business that you're working on where you're walking out the door attempting to create the money for something. And I think the entire economy would be better if we had more of that understanding. And with chances of jobs going away, we need this entrepreneurship thinking to create opportunities that never existed before. And looks like you're doing your part in that area.
I'm doing my best, and I appreciate your platform to talk about this and the exposure that comes from doing this with you. I think that's wonderful too. Thank you for throwing me a line and giving me a chance to reach out to people who I might not have known otherwise.
You're welcome. It was great. Well, thanks again, and look forward to hearing more success, and anything I can do to help, let me know.
All right.
Terrific. All right, great. Take care.
Bye.